What is good, YouTube? Quinway coming to you with that analysis breakdown on Larry Bird with a tribute into it. He was a great three-point shooter, above average. He can hit the three-point shot straight up. He can hit it contested. He can hit it if you're in his face. He can come off screens, and he can set his feet and knock down the three easily. He had good size, good height, good touch, and it was just hard for you to be able to guard him because of those reasons. He just had a high IQ. You look at the fact that he can come off the screen and hit mid ranges too. He was a splash fest guy. No matter if you gave him space or he had to create space or he had to shoot above you, he had the ability to do it easily, smooth, cool, and a guy that didn't really seem like he had that much pressure, even though he played in high stakes and big games, including championships, even in college and high school. And this guy has been that him since he's been in the league, even after he retired. People still look at him the same way for that reason. And when you look at the post, he can go to the high post or the mid post and still hit a fadeaway over you. He can still take his time and figure out how he wants to score. He was a guy that could go very quickly. He can go trying to pass, or he can just go and just slowly take the clock down and shoot. He also has good footwork. He can maneuver himself to get the space or get the type of shot that he wants without even rushing it either. It's hard to be that patient in the paint, especially when you got great players all around you that can do similar things. And you look at the fact that he had good handles. Like, he can dribble to where he wanted to go. He had a low dribble, but he was still able to get it back up to get to a high release that basically made him unstoppable because you couldn't block it and you damn near couldn't even contest it for the most part. And he can also finish. He can get to the paint and make some shots and hit some floaters and hit some push ins or get deep post position, allowing him to put points at the board real quick. And it was something that was he was doing on a regular basis, and you just see the fact that he had that touch, and you knew that if you gave him any type of room or any type of space, it was to be a knockdown. But even when you tried hard and gave it your all, he still figured out how to score or help his teammates score because of the attention that he garnered in the paint or on the perimeter, which made him a triple threat player offensively. And then you look at the fact that he can have fun with it, he can do tricks with it, and it was still efficient, and it wasn't none getting turned over. And the degree of difficulty for these passes actually to hit and to allow his teammates to get easy opportunities each and every night that they played together, even against the best defenses, he still knew exactly how to get the ball where it needed to be. And it looked at fun, it looked at exciting, it looked at a little ugly sometimes too, but it still got the job done and made his teammates age well and gracefully because of the ability of giving them high percentage shots throughout that whole campaign. And then you look at the fact that he also did it at the top of the key, or did it in the mid range, or did it in the post, and still was able to thread the needle with some of these passes and to get his teammates some easy looks. And sometimes he even gave them running starts to where he can lead them to where they needed to be, and then they can just finish, kind of like being a quarterback of some type of sense. And it was just nice to see him do it every night. And these guys are just basically getting the easier shots, like going to practice. And the only difference is you just had to catch it, you just had to finish it, and that's all you really had to do when playing with a guy like Larry Bird. And that's why we called him Larry Legend. Like, he was already had the stature and the ability to be a legend. He just had to get the accolades and the career that backed up that name, and he did that very quick entering the NBA. And it was just exciting and just fun to see Larry Bird go out there and just execute and do exactly what the team needed to do, and even have some fun out there while he was young and older. Just playing the game at the highest level and dominating at the highest level made Larry Bird that guy. And you look at the fact that he had the MVPs, and he had the defensive teams, and he had the all-star berths, and the fact that he was winning championships and leading them to titles and leading them to 60-win teams and doing it multiple times, and just being a great team player and a guy that understands how the game should be played and how the game should be done, even if they needed him to step it up defensively. That was something that you couldn't ever disrespect Larry Bird on doing, because he did everything you wanted your teammates to do, and he did it efficiently, he did it effectively, and he did it each and every time he was out on the court. And that's one thing I will always say, like, his steals was so blinding. You would think you had the ball and he'll just take it from you. He'll reach without touching you, without fouling. Just had great anticipation, klepto type of skills, and the fact that it led to a score majority of the time. If he gets a steal, whether it's on your side of the court or you got to run it down to make a quick play, it always led to a possession where it was a made basket for his teammate. And that's why I thought he was a great defender because it wasn't all about the block sometimes. Sometimes he'd block or sometimes he'd strip. And people didn't look at Larry Bird as a great defender until he started winning championships doing it at the highest level. And that's the best way to win them, because that's when it matters the most. But when I look at Larry Bird, I look at him as an icon in the game even now, and it's just fun to always see him and everybody else showing you how fun it was to play in that era, and him being one of the GOATs of that era, one of the most memorable players of that era, making the game popular, making the game where it is today financially. This is why, because the players like him showing you how fun and exciting it is to be a basketball player, and the joy that comes with it is very special. And that's why I always say I love how he played, especially because I'm a Celtics fan, and I love what he was about. I love his heart, I love his soul, always being connected to the NBA, because that's what he wanted to be, and he became one of the greatest, one of my top 10 best players to ever play the game. And he's going to be there for a while, or probably forever at this point, because the accolades just are ridiculous for what he did in a short span of time. And you look at the fact that he had a back injury and still was able to go gold, and still was able to make shots, and still was able to play well, and still was able to be confident even though he wasn't feeling 100%. And he didn't really use that as an excuse. He went out there and played and did the best he could and laid it all out on the line, even if it was a toll on his body. But that just show you the love and the passion that he had for the game. And other than that, this is Quinn Wade coming to you with another analysis, a breakdown / tribute to another icon of the game, Larry Bird.